All right. Do you want to actually talk about USC as a team this year and whether
Let's
or not
do
you
it.
feel comfortable laying 31 points when their defense seemed completely and utterly disinterested in trying to tackle people last year?
Yeah, I don't. Brent Brennan, very good coach. San Jose State, very underrated team. I think this is another thing, another public side where people are like, oh, USC, oh, Heisman contender. Well, they're going to score 60 just by waking up in the morning. They might, but they might also give up 35. So I like San Jose State here with the 30 points. I also think, too, these superpower offenses, they can kind of stumble out of the gate. It feels like, well, if it's not easy like it was, at points last year, you see like sort of a frustration of pressing. We've seen that a lot. Some of these superpower offenses, it doesn't always click like immediately. And I think San Jose State can put some points on the board, and USC, we'll see if they figured out how to tackle in the last 8 months. I'm skeptical that they have, but 30 points is a lot. I just don't trust the defense enough. I don't think this defense is going to be that improved, maybe slightly, but not enough. And San Jose State, pretty underrated team. Siobhan Cordero, I think, can put up some points, and this is going to be a fun game. I don't think it'll be that competitive, but also stay tuned on The Athletic for some very interesting coverage from this game. That's all I'll tell you.
Yeah. I think that what side you are on this game kind of reveals a little bit of what you think USC is going to be able to do on defense this year. And like, if you think that USC is susceptible to giving up 35 or 31 points to San Jose State, I think that to me means that you think their defense is going to stink this year. Is that a fair assumption?
I think it's week one. I think San Jose State's underrated. Maybe if I was betting this, I might bet the first half. San Jose State, whatever that number is, 17, 18, 19, I don't know, something like that. And unless you believe in the back door late. I think they can be slightly better. I think they can put 50 up on just about everybody they play. But I do think it comes out of tackling. Like when you look at USC and you look at their failures, this is why I'm not as big of an anti-Alex Grinch guy as you, Ari. I think it's a contact tackling structural thing. It's not like they got guys running free in the secondary all the time. This is a tackling issue. It's a physicality issue. I think that points to how you run your program. You watch that Tulane game. It's not like Tulane was just like.
Doesn't that make you even more concerned about the coaching? Like what you're saying right now? That's the easiest thing to instill, isn't it?
But people get mad at Alex Grinch. It's like a scheme issue. I don't think this is a scheme issue at all.
How does the personality of the defense, where does that come from?
I mean, I think it comes from how you run your program. I think this is a contact thing. I think it's a how often do you tackle thing. How physical are you in your offseason program? I think this is a program structural architecture thing. Because again, when I watch
and
USC,
what did that program from a structure architecture thing do to fix that?
Have a head coach that changes how much you tackle, the drills that you do, how often you're wearing pads, what you're doing, how your week is structured, all of these things. I'm not saying Alex Grinch is setting the world on fire, but I think that people who want to set him on fire are probably a little bit overstated in how much he is to blame for this.
Listen, he's back. He has a chance to do something. I just don't know what season in the last 5 years you point to and go, this is the guy. So that's the thing. Like if they even had a defense that could kind of breathe last year, they're in the playoff. Like that's all it would have taken. So do you remember how many points USC scored last year in week one?
Who'd they play? I might remember.
Rice.
Rice?
And Rice isn't nearly as good as San Jose State, but do you remember how many points?
I'm going to say 45 is my guess.
66.
Okay.
I think USC comes out hot. I think their defense stinks, and I think if their defense stinks and gives up 28 points, they're still going to cover the spread. Like I think they're going to score into the upper 50s or 60s on this team and cover the spread.
So Ari, you're betting on the more talented team here?
I just think that I wouldn't want to take. Listen, taking the points against teams that score as much as USC does just isn't entertaining. Like, don't you just like want to watch the team? It's like taking it under to me. I actually just think that USC is not going to make the playoff, and I think that their defense is going to let them down again. But I think that's going to occur in the second half of the year when their schedule gets impossible to manage. In reference to Lincoln Riley's defense over the years, and to quote Ari's dad, when does it stop being a beep coincidence? It's true. When does it stop?
It's a Lincoln Riley problem. It's not an Alex Grinch problem. I'm sorry. It just is. If you change the defensive coordinator, I do not buy that all of a sudden you'd have all your problems fixed. No.
I'm with you, Andrew. I'm not going to play the USC game. I'm going to play Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
like
a lot
Notre
of
Dame
points
better.
against. It's a lot of points against a very competent team in San Jose State.
Yeah.
Like they're not good,
Yeah.
but I think they'll be improved, and they're not just like running around. Like they
I'm
know
just
what they're
afraid
doing.
that USC is going to score 66 points again. I think
They
there's
might,
a
but they
chance
might
of
give
that.
up 40. They might give up 40.
If they give up 40, then I'm completely out on USC this year.